Hey there, this is Eric Chabot here, and I've been doing some clips on some practical suggestions on how to do apologetics more effectively. Some of you follow my blog at thinkapologetics.com. I direct a couple apologetic ministries here in Columbus, Ohio at Columbus State Community College and The Ohio State University. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about what to do when your Christian friends are not interested in apologetics, and for that matter, why are a lot of your Christian friends not interested in apologetics? Or what about the church you attend? Perhaps that church isn't really interested in apologetics. So maybe you're just getting frustrated because this is something that you want to go deeper on. You want to engage certain apologetic topics. You want your church to do more with apologetics. You want your friends to be more engaged with it, but it's just not happening. And so you feel like a lone ranger. I know what that's like. There's a lot of lonely people in churches who love apologetics, but they can't find like-minded people. Well, let me give some suggestions, first of all, as to why your Christian friends are not interested in apologetics and why the churches are not interested in apologetics. Now, let me say on a positive note, there is a lot more happening on that end, and I have seen more people getting interested in apologetics, and I have seen some churches getting more interested in offering apologetics in their curriculum. So it's not as bad as it used to be, but there's still a big problem. So first of all, the reason why a lot of your Christian friends may not be interested in apologetics is because they don't know what it is, meaning that they've never heard that word mentioned before. They don't know anything about it. Perhaps their parents don't know anything about it. Perhaps their church doesn't know much about it. And perhaps they just have never been exposed to it. So the first issue is just ignorance. They just don't know. So you may have to be the one to give them a little information there, or some information about what it is. And so you have to get that ball rolling. Now, you have to remember that you have to be patient, because if they don't know, they don't know. I mean, I didn't know what apologetics was as a brand new Christian. All I know is that I started to share the gospel with a lot of friends and people that I knew. I was excited about my faith. I figured this is the greatest message and it needs to be told. And then I started getting really challenged. Started hearing a lot of objections, started getting a lot of questions. And I honestly just didn't know what to do. I was like, wow, there's a lot of objections to what I believe. I never heard these things. I didn't know these things are out there. So I ended up in the local Christian bookstore buying a bunch of apologetic books, trying to figure out how people had answered these things over the last 2,000 years, which they have been doing over the last 2,000 years. So anyway, that's the first issue. Secondly, as I just alluded to in my own life, I got challenged when I started to share my faith and I needed to find answers. Well, it may be that your Christian friends are just not sharing their faith. That means that they're not engaging people. They don't know maybe just the basics of evangelism. They think that maybe that's for the specialists, or maybe they're just not that motivated. One way or the other, if they're not hearing challenges to their faith, obviously they're not going to see any need to find any answers, okay? Secondly, thirdly, maybe they just haven't thought deeply about their faith, meaning that they haven't really thought about why they think Christianity is true or why they're actually Christian. I mean, they may know some basics like, yeah, I need to believe Jesus died and rose from the dead, and I need to believe in him to go to heaven when I die. But they really have not engaged their faith with their minds, meaning that they haven't made a commitment to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. So those are other issues that come up. So you may want to just ask some of your Christian friends, are you talking to anybody about the gospel? Are you sharing your faith with anybody? Now, I don't mean to be legalistic, like we have to go talk to every single person we see, but there should be some kind of commitment to at least a desire to want to share the good news with somebody. But that goes in with learning how to do evangelism and just learning the basics of that issue, okay? Fourthly, just remember that it's not up really to the local church to be the primary way for someone to learn about apologetics. Hopefully it's happening in the home, meaning that as a family, if you're parents, hopefully you're teaching your kids apologetics, teaching them reasons why you believe what you believe, encouraging them to be seekers of truth, encouraging them to be students of the faith. Hopefully as parents, we're taking the lead on that, because you're the first teacher of your parents. Now, if you're a younger person and you're in a home right now and your parents are not doing that, you may need to seek out your own resources. There's a lot of stuff online now, of course, people can get into, a lot of groups, plenty of resources online with like-minded people who are interested in apologetics, as well as parents. Parents, if your local church is not doing anything with apologetics, then there's more than enough resources out there for you to take the lead as a parent to learn some of the basics of apologetics and to implement that in your family life, okay? And let me just encourage you that there are more than enough resources now to learn apologetics. I mean, there's an overload of resources, curriculums, books, videos. So much stuff is out there now. So there really can be no excuse for saying that there's nothing out there. I mean, there's too much out there, to be honest. So if you want to get started, just look at crossexamine.org. That's Frank Turek's website. Go to str.org. That's Stand to Reason. Go to James Warner Wallace's website. He's got a lot of materials on there. You can go to Sean McDowell's website, my website, thinkapologetics.com, or natashacrane.org. There's so much material out there, so many websites, so many books and workbooks, and just all kinds of things you can utilize for your benefit. So just remember that everybody has to start somewhere. But remember that if your friends are not interested and they're just simply are not showing any progress in that area, your Christian friends in the area of apologetics, you need to keep doing what you're doing, and you commit to being a disciple of Jesus and following him and loving him with all your heart, soul, and mind, and just do what you need to do and be obedient to him and let God deal with those people. But if you have a strong desire to learn this material, learn things about apologetics, and learn how to engage people, then that's a great thing. But just remember that you have to be patient with your other Christian friends, and sometimes you may need to just let God deal with them, and you keep going forward in what you're doing. Okay, so I hope that helps you today, and I hope you keep going forward in your faith and growing in your ability to learn apologetics and integrate that into your outreach and also into your practical discipleship. Have a good day.